The story begins with a young girl named Emily. She's searching for something while holding a strange rabbit doll. The doll seems to guide her, leading her down into a basement where she stops near a wall. Emily picks up a knife and makes a small hole in it. She peeks inside and suddenly freezes in shock, but what she sees is never revealed to us. Then we're introduced to Alex. Alex had a serious accident that caused him to lose most of his memory. One day, his friend Mark visits him and says, "Bro, I've got a great job for you, being a nanny, and it pays really well." Mark explains that his brother committed suicide a year ago, and his sister-in-law disappeared 8 months ago. They have a young daughter, Emily, who still lives in that same house where her father died. Mark also mentions that Emily's mental condition isn't stable. Sometimes she has episodes where she freezes like a statue, and when it's over, she goes completely back to normal. Worried about her safety, Mark offers Alex $200 a day for the job. Alex thinks the pay is too good to pass up and agrees. But when he arrives, he realizes the house is located on a small island in the middle of a lake. Shocked, he asks Mark, "Why didn't you tell me this before? I don't even know how to swim. How am I supposed to leave?" Mark just laughs and says, "I told you it was far away. Now that you're here, just accept it." After thinking for a moment, Alex decides to go ahead anyway. The two cross the lake in a small boat and finally reach the creepy house. As soon as Alex steps inside, an old woman, Emily's grandmother, warns him, "My granddaughter is a little strange. She doesn't like people getting too close." Things only get more disturbing from there. Alex heads to his room when he notices the old woman carrying a large bag from another room. She opens it, revealing a leather restraint fitted with thick iron chains. She tells him, "This was my mother's old idea. Wear it." Confused, Alex hesitates. The grandmother reassures him, "Don't worry, the chain is long enough. You can still do your normal work. You just won't be able to go to certain places." Alex thinks to himself, "Why didn't they tell me this earlier? Why did I even come here?" But by now, he's already trapped. The grandmother then takes him to Emily's room, the same girl we saw at the beginning. At that moment, Emily is having one of her episodes. She's completely still like a statue, her hands covered, her eyes fixed on the ground, not moving at all. Alex looks at her and thinks, "She's just a little girl. What's there to be scared of?" After Mark keeps insisting, Alex finally puts on the chain restraint. The grandmother leaves, and Alex is left alone in his room. After a while, he starts wandering around the house. Near the back door, he notices a dog tied up. It feels strange to him because the dog is chained up, just like he is. He goes back to his room, picks up the dog's food, and feeds it. Then, Alex finds a photo. In it, Marco and his brother are standing together. He's still looking at the picture when suddenly the iron chain behind him starts lifting on its own, and in a split second, it yanks him back violently. Terrified, Alex immediately turns around, but there's no one there. Everything is empty. Now he realizes, this isn't normal. Something is definitely wrong here. The chain moved as if someone standing right behind him had pulled it. Alex then goes into Emily's room and sees that she's having another seizure. He calls out toward the bathroom, "Is anyone there?" But there's no response. After a while, everything suddenly goes silent. Alex can't make sense of it. Exhausted, he returns to his room and lies down to rest. But the real horror is just beginning. The moment Alex lies on the bed, a loud bang echoes from behind him. Startled, he jumps up. The sound came from the wall. A painting has fallen down. He feels uneasy. Something isn't right. He picks it up, straightens it, and hangs it back. Then he lies down again. But as soon as he does, he notices the painting has turned toward him again. Annoyed, Alex turns it back once more. Now he lies there staring at the painting, as if trying to find something in it. Strange thoughts begin to creep into his mind. Why is this house so weird? How long have I even been here? After some time, he falls asleep. But suddenly, bang, the noise comes again. He wakes up instantly. The painting has fallen again. How did it fall? The window is closed. He picks it up to check, and just looking at it gives him chills. And then he realizes it was all a dream. Now Alex is fully awake. He gets up and walks into the living room. When suddenly he sees Emily coming out, but this time she's holding a bow in her hands. Alex freezes in fear. "What are you doing? That's dangerous." Emily stays completely calm and says, "I know how to use it. My dad and uncle used to take me hunting." At this point, it's clear she's not joking. Then Emily asks Alex, "What's your connection with my uncle Marco?" Alex replies, "I don't remember anything. After the accident, I lost my memory. All I know is we were good friends." Then Alex asks her, "What's your relationship with Marco like?" Emily gets a little emotional and says, "He's the only family I have left now." Alex continues, "What about your grandmother and your dad? What was their relationship like?" Emily doesn't say a word. She quietly pulls out a photo and hands it to Alex. In the picture, two brothers are hunting together. They look really close, which means things weren't always this broken between them. Alex then says, "I heard your dad committed suicide." Emily slowly starts explaining, and from here the story turns much darker and more confusing. She tells him, "My dad had claustrophobia. He was terrified of confined spaces." Then she reveals something disturbing about her mother. She used to think it was all a joke. One time her mom even forced her dad into a straitjacket. Emily explains that her dad completely panicked inside it, desperately trying to grab the key. But her mother suddenly became aggressive, and then she swallowed the key. Alex is shocked. Emily continues, "After that, my mom started acting even weirder, like she was mentally unstable." Then she drops the most shocking part. "One day my dad went into the basement, but when he tried to come back, the door was locked. Because of his claustrophobia, he panicked badly. And in that panic, he fired an arrow from his bow and died." Alex starts to feel something is off. The story doesn't make sense. If the door was fine, how did it suddenly lock? He has doubts, but he doesn't question her at that moment. As soon as Emily leaves, the rabbit doll sitting on the shelf suddenly starts playing loudly on its own. Its eyes look eerily real, like they're watching everything. And at that exact moment, behind Alex, the basement door slowly cracks open by itself. Alex freezes. It was just closed, so how did it open on its own? Without wasting time, he grabs his weapon and the rabbit doll and heads down into the basement. Down there, he notices the sound of chains is coming from somewhere nearby, but everything else looks normal. Just as he's about to leave, his eyes catch something strange, a small hole in the wooden wall. He turns on his flashlight and looks inside, and behind the wall, there's the dead body of a woman. Alex notices something disturbing. The corpse has an arrow from a bow stuck in it. He immediately starts wondering, could this be Emily's missing mother? Did Emily actually kill her own mom? Without wasting a second, Alex rushes upstairs and storms into Emily's room, only to find her lying unconscious. Seizing the moment, he secretly pulls out a phone hidden inside the wall vent. He quickly calls Mark and says, "Something is seriously wrong here. Bring the police now." After hanging up, Alex locks himself inside the room, trying to figure out how to escape this nightmare. Suddenly, Emily's voice crackles through the walkie-talkie. "Why did you lock yourself in?" Furious, Alex snaps back. "I know the truth now. You killed your mother. I've said everything." Emily instantly replies, calm but chilling, "I didn't kill my mom. My father and my uncle did it together." Alex is completely thrown off. "What's the truth here?" He tells her, "Put the bow down first, then we'll talk." Emily agrees. Slowly, she begins to confess. "My dad killed her. I just helped a little." Shocked, Alex asks, "Why didn't you go to the police?" Emily responds coldly, "Because it would have ruined our family's reputation. And besides, someone in the police was on our side." Hearing this, Alex falls silent, and surprisingly, he starts believing her. But the biggest question still remains. Who's actually telling the truth? And what is really hidden inside this house? Suddenly, Emily says, "You want to call the police, but you don't even know the truth." She refuses to back down. Then she puts on a red jacket and asks, "Do you recognize this?" Alex looks closely and freezes. "That's my brother's jacket." Emily slowly replies, "No, it's yours. You came here a year ago, and you left it behind." Alex is completely shaken. Emily continues, "Remember when I told you my father was locked in the basement? You were the one who locked that door." Alex's mind spirals. "No, I don't remember anything. If I did something like that, I would remember." Angry and desperate, he yells, "You're crazy. You're remembering it wrong." Trying to prove his point, Alex calls Mark and explains everything. But the response he gets sends chills down his spine. "Yeah, it's true." Mark reveals that he was the one who sent Alex to that house a year ago. He later regretted it, but by then Alex had already done what he came there to do. Now Alex finally realizes he wasn't brought here by accident. He was brought here for revenge. He starts searching the room, desperately trying to find a way to get out of the straitjacket, but nothing works. Then he looks through the vent into Emily's room and spots a key. Just as he's about to grab it, Emily, who was hiding behind him, snaps her fingers. Suddenly, Alex screams in pain. He manages to break free and runs out of the room. In the living area, he finds a newspaper. It reports that Emily's mother is missing, and in the photo, the woman is wearing a key around her neck. That's when it hits him. The dead body he saw earlier had a key too. Without wasting a second, Alex rushes to the basement, reaches behind a wall, and pulls out the key. He finally unlocks the straitjacket. But the moment he frees himself, the entire house goes dark. When he comes upstairs, Emily is already sitting there. Good for him. She's having another episode. She freezes. Seeing his chance, Alex quickly puts the straitjacket back on her and ties her up. Now he tries to call the police, but the phone line is already dead. Alex realizes Even if he escapes, where would he go? This is an island, and he'd freeze to death outside. So he decides to stay and rest. After a while, he wakes up and heads to the bathroom, not knowing Emily is hiding behind the door. The moment he steps out, Emily attacks. Luckily, she only manages to give him a minor injury on his forehead. But that shock triggers something, and suddenly Alex remembers everything. Mark sent him here. He was afraid that his brother Emily's father would reveal the truth, so he sent Alex to silence him. But here's the twist. Alex didn't come to kill him. He came to warn him that Mark was planning to murder him. When Alex arrived at the house, no one was there. He was about to leave when he heard a noise from the basement. He went down and found that Emily's father had already taken his own life. Terrified, Alex ran away. A few days later, Mark meets Alex and praises him, saying he did a great job. That's when everything becomes clear. What Mark and Emily had been saying all along was true. Mark pulls out a bundle of cash and offers it to Alex, but Alex refuses. "I didn't do anything. I don't want this money." Then pulls out a note written by Alex and asks what it says. Angrily, he says, "Do you want to die too? The best thing you can do is take the money and end this matter right here." Alex finally starts resisting openly. "You people aren't human. I'm calling the police." Mark immediately realizes Alex has become a threat, but instead of reacting aggressively, he stays calm and cleverly says, "All right, think it over. We'll talk tomorrow." That night, Alex is sitting on the balcony drinking, completely unaware of what's about to happen behind him. Suddenly, quietly appears from behind and pushes him off the balcony. That fall is what caused Alex's memory loss. Now everything starts to connect. Sam returns to that same haunted house again. Inside the bathroom, Alex discovers a hidden passage. He crawls into it, moving slowly through the narrow space. Along the way, he notices a shadow, but when he looks closely, it disappears. He assumes it's just a hallucination. He eventually reaches the basement, the same place where he had seen a dead body before. This time, he finds a small saw nearby and starts cutting through wooden planks. But then, he feels like a corpse standing nearby is staring at him. Terrified, he covers its face and keeps cutting faster. Suddenly, Emily enters the basement. She's there to pull an arrow out of her mother's body. Alex is hiding nearby, barely daring to breathe. Moments later, Mark also arrives and starts yelling at Emily, "I gave you a chance to take revenge, but you couldn't do anything." Out of nowhere, Emily shoots an arrow into Mark from behind and screams, "You manipulated me." After that, she heads upstairs to look for Alex. Meanwhile, Mark, now injured, calls out to Alex, "Come out. We can stop that crazy girl together," but in reality, he's planning to kill him. Then suddenly, a voice comes through the walkie-talkie. "I escaped. I'm going to call the police." Mark is shocked. If that's Alex, then who is hiding inside? The wall slowly gives way as it's cut open, creating a hole. Terrified, Mark cautiously steps inside. The atmosphere is extremely intense and creepy. Then he sees a woman behind the wall slowly stepping forward, and boom. What do you think happened to Mark? Let me know in the comments. In the end, Alex escapes the island with his dog on a boat. The film's atmosphere is incredibly strong. The horror builds slowly instead of relying on random jump scares. However, some scenes feel a bit illogical, like they could have broken the wall instead of slowly cutting it. In my opinion, it was Emily's mother's vengeful spirit behind everything. She was killed by her husband and brother-in-law, so her rage was extremely powerful. Maybe she was the one closing doors, manipulating people, and creating all the horror. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.